Hello, everyone. Welcome to It's Sybil. I am Sybil Wilkes, and the gang is all here, as I like to say. And we're pretty spread out. We are really pretty spread out. We're going northeast, we're going Midwest, and down to the Southwest. And we're all here, and it's great to see you. Hey, Khameron Riley, how are you?
Hey, Sybil. Hey, Damon. Hello, Tuesday family. How's it going?
Actually, we're multi-day. So, yeah. And Damon, you are in your second comedic home this week. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I have arrived on the Vineyard.
Yeah, the Vineyard.
The Vineyard. But yeah, we already started to kick off the Martha's Vineyard Comedy Fest with I have Randy Denise Boyd and Alonzo Bowden are my comics, and the crowd was exuberant last night, even though it rained. And I'm looking forward to the rest of the week with them before we ship them out and get the new ones.
And the new ones will be whom?
Next week is Coco Brown,
wow.
Talent, and Chris Spencer.
Oh, it's too bad you couldn't get any big names.
Yeah, I'm working on it. And that Saturday, we're doing a one night only special with the one and only Sherry Shepherd.
And that's on the 13th of August.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, nice. So, Khameron, tell us what's going on with you. I know that you're in the midst of a transition in terms of your residence. Anything else, or is that consuming your life?
Yeah, I got news back from a playhouse here in Chicago on the major league circuit. I applied for a residency there, and I didn't get a no. People who follow me on Instagram saw that it was more of like a no, but yeah, they acknowledged me as a culturally astute and very necessary playwright, but my work didn't fit in with the theme of their 40-year anniversary this year, which, when it comes to applying for this stuff, you never know what it is that they're actually looking for.
Right.
But I just hope that their 40-year anniversary isn't about like the lifestyle of hippos or something.
Well, I think you could rise to the occasion with that too.
I do. I love hippos.
And just reapply in the 41st year, and that excuse is gone away.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Right.
So there's that. COVID kind of made its way through my house last week. My stepdad had it, and he's not. And the funny thing about it is that he's Nigerian, and so this was his first time taking Western medicine.
Really?
Yeah. When he first came down with the symptoms, he was like, "Just get me some ginger ale, I will be fine." Usually, yes, but not with this.
Right.
And who knew that was an international remedy?
Right. I thought it was just the south side of Chicago, but he knew the ginger ale was a cure-all.
So he got it. His symptoms were he was kind of like floored for about a day, and I was also a little weakened for about a day or two. My grandma and my aunt didn't get it, which is good.
Oh, thank goodness. Yeah.
So kind of worked its way on out.
That's cool.
Thank God the new COVID light is out, because we're sitting here talking to you now. No hospitalizations and things of that nature. So God bless you and the family, bro.
Oh yeah, I should have pulled a mean prank and like surrounded myself in white walls with a breather on and said, "Come on, I can still do it.
Hold on."
Right.
Yeah.
Talk about dedication.
Right. And one for your screenwriting skills as well.
Oh, for sure. Dramatic. Yeah.
Exactly. Damon, how is the travel to get there for people who've never been to Martha's Vineyard? It's more than a one-stop trip, right?
Yeah, depending on your tolerance for tiny planes. Because most the two airlines that do come on island that are the most frequently used have a partnership with something called Cape Air. And Cape Air, they basically fly Cessnas. It's 6 people and the pilot.
Right.
And Brandy on her way over said the pilot had the window cracked. She like, now what type of what are we doing when you can have I'm pretty sure that's not in airplane rules. But lot of people know. So I fly to Boston, and we take a car service to a place called Woodhull, which is the coast of Massachusetts. And Martha's Vineyard is in Massachusetts, people. And the reason why I say that, I'll tell you in a minute. Then you take a ferry, and it's a nice little 30, 40-minute ferry ride. So it's scenic, and that's beautiful. But one of the comedians a couple years back, we booked him. And when he heard it was on the island, he went out and got an expedited passport. Like, bruh, this is the United States. He not only went and got a passport, he got an expedited. He paid extra.
He paid a lot for that.
To get a passport to fly to Boston.
That is so funny. That's so funny. So that's what I mean by all of us being in different places. And I'm in 106-degree Fort Worth, Texas today. So there you have it.
Wow.
All right. Let us take a look at the What You Need to Know newsletter. And that is our Monday through Friday effort to super serve the African American community with stories that do apply to our lives and oftentimes specifically to Black folks. And we have politics and we have COVID updates. As noted with Khameron, we got our COVID update here. And we also have health and wellness with a corner there, HBCU corner, little known Black history fact. We cover a lot of this. So Khameron, you cover a lot, and you talked about environmental racism in the current issue. Talk about that and what's going on in Houston.
Yeah. So people in Houston, you need to keep your eyes peeled for these forthcoming settlement checks, okay? Because trust me, they are coming. The Department of Justice has began its crusade against environmental racism, and the first stop is the state of Texas, specifically the city of Houston, and we'll talk about why that's significant in a little bit. But Houston, Texas lacks zoning laws, and so 80% of the city's landfills and incinerators populate predominantly Black or Latino neighborhoods. And research has been indicating that a lot of Black families who are born with certain breathing illnesses like asthma, or are even predisposed to certain cancers. It's because that they live close to these waste management plants and these incinerators. We're too close to these fumes. And this is specifically crucial for those in Houston's super neighborhood 48, where they have been complaining for years about the dumping of dead bodies, mattresses, medical waste, and other trash that's just been piling up near them. And we know from history that neighborhoods with a lot of waste or a lot of trash near them, they spread disease and illness. And Houston's been suffering from this for quite some time. During the 50s and the 60s, the bloody Loudons County, they had terrible sanitation services. People had raw sewage flooding into their yards. So the Department of Justice is accusing the area of Houston, Texas, the municipality, of enabling environmental racism. The Houston mayor, Sylvester Turner, said he didn't know that the probe was coming, that the Department of Justice just pulled up at his house.
This is the brother mayor, by the way.
Yeah, so they're definitely going to see that it's painfully obvious that Black people have been suffering from these terrible conditions for many, many years, which is why I say that you all need to prepare for the coming of these settlement checks.
So I don't understand, before we get to the settlement checks, I don't understand how a mayor who has been mayor for a couple of terms now, if I'm not mistaken, Sylvester Turner, I don't know him, but I know of him and his work, and he seems to be a pretty dedicated guy. How is it that you have been a part of this city for how many generations and you don't know about this? Was there any indication regarding that?
It's so from the research that I've done, as Sylvester Turner's been pretty short on words since this probe has been happening.
Sure.
He's in the eyes of the law, and anything that you say, can, or do will be held against him later on.
And And his name is Sylvester, which the nickname for Sylvester is
Is
Sly.
right.
Sly. Sly knew what was going on. Sly getting some under the table money to keep the situation on the low. Come on, Sly, handle this.
Come on, T. Mayor T. Come on, Mr. T. So, Cameron, I cut you off about the checks because it is important that the people are given some sort of recompense in this.
Yeah, absolutely. And Sybil, it's my opinion that the reason the Democratic Party came for Texas first is because political analysts know in their heart of hearts that Texas can flip later on. There's a lot of Black people in Texas, a lot of Black people in Dallas. And if they hear that the Biden administration is trying to give some sort of restitution, some justice to the Black people of Texas, they may turn out to vote more, and Texas may flip, and white people will be really upset.
And they'll flip too.
Yeah, they will.
For real. And we're hoping for a flip, but they ain't seen nothing yet. And this is Texas being number one. I know that the chances of Mississippi flipping are very small, but that's another state. I don't know if you have any advance word on the states that are to follow in this environmental racism suit. But Mississippi is another one of those where people have had garbage and sewage come up through the drainage pipes and onto people's lawns and being put next to or for years and years in neighborhoods with all of the sewage, not only the sewage, but and those businesses that will put their sewage into the water. And that's what people, in a lot of cases, they do their fishing and things like that in areas, not to mention landfills. So are you aware of any of them any other places where they may be looking?
I am not, but I anticipate that they're coming for the Rust Belt, the Ohio's, all of those old school factories.
Michigan, sure.
Yep, definitely coming for Michigan. They
let's not leave out Illinois.
I was hoping, but Illinois got a Democratic governor and unfortunately a Democratic mayor for now.
Right.
So they don't want to put any pressure, even though Lori Lightfoot has commissioned some very racist construction projects in predominantly Black and Latino neighborhoods where dust has polluted the air for days, making it hard for residents to breathe out here in this heat. But it's all just partisan in the end.
It's going to be interesting to see how this all plays out. I hope that you will follow through on it. You've given us a lot in terms of climate change and now with environmental racism, and I hope that you will continue to stay on that story. I appreciate it.
Seeing taxpayers' dollars go to work.
Yeah, right. Do we have any idea what kind of money people might be getting?
They haven't named anyone who they're taking to court. They've just recently opened up the investigation, but when they start naming construction companies, when they start naming people, and that's when they're building up that civil rights case.
Yeah, I hate to ask, you know what, and that's really not like me to ask how much people might get. It really isn't, but I find that people are asking more and more these days, whether it's the Facebook lawsuit or whatever it is. People, how much are you going to get? And I would like to see the people's homes, their neighborhoods cleaned up initially, and let that be the greatest benefit. But if they get a little scratch too, I'm not mad at that. But it's going to be interesting. I hope that we will follow that. This is election day, primary election day in a number of states, and this is one of the most interesting days as far as this political geek is concerned. Primary elections today in Arizona, Kansas, Michigan, Missouri, and Washington State, with the exception of Washington State. All of these states have played a part in Donald Trump's escalation of his endorsements. Michigan, we know what happened in Michigan a couple of years ago with the Democratic Governor Whitmer and the Trump supporters taking over the state capitol remember that, with plans to kidnap the governor. These are all supporters of Donald Trump. This is where business is going on in terms of the election today. Also, Arizona, which was ground zero for Trump supporters to overturn the 2020 presidential election. They went so far as somebody came out of nowhere and they were going to go and recount the votes. And these people had no grounds for this. They had no substantial history in terms of what they do. And they were even going so far as to take the ballots and try to decipher if these ballots were made of rice that came from China. This is Arizona. I promise you, I kid you not. Missouri is another state. They're amongst the elections that they have for the United States Senator Roy Blunt has yes, his name is Blunt, but it's spelled Blount. He is retiring, and so they're looking, and he's a very powerful Republican, so they're looking for someone to take over his seat. And this is the craziest thing ever. I know, believe it or not, in the U.S. Senate race, there for Republicans, they have candidates, Republican candidates, who are all seeking the support of Donald Trump. And he sent out a tweet or a text or something last night. I don't know if it was on Twitter. It was probably on
Definitely not.
Yeah, it was on his social media.
Right.
And he endorsed Eric. So, Eric, there are 3 Erics running for this position in Missouri. I kid you not. The former governor is Eric Greitens. The state attorney general is Eric Schmidt. And a little known candidate's name is Eric McElroy. And he said, I support Eric. So
the acolytes are like, which Eric?
And so all the Erics are going, okay, we're endorsed by Donald Trump. And here's the genius. If you want to apply any genius to Donald Trump, whichever Eric wins, he says, I'm a winner.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So, and I got to tell you, the former governor of Missouri, his name is Eric Greitens. He is a piece of work. He had to quit. He had to leave the governor's house and the position because he has a really ugly history regarding sexual assault and domestic abuse. He was having an affair with a woman. She threatened to tell it. And he took pictures of her in his basement, naked pictures of her, and he was holding them so that he said, if you tell on me, I'll show these pictures. And so this whole story came out. Now he's out of office, but he's running for the United States Senate nomination. And his ex-wife is saying, well, he's also an abuser. And this was just this year. So I'm telling you, Missouri is like, it's crazy. It is absolutely nuts. And on a serious tip, right next door in Kansas, this is the first vote that's being taken by a state following the Roe versus Wade overturn. So the people of Kansas are going to vote today on whether to have to support the amendment, the current amendment in the Constitution, the state Constitution, which allows people to have control over their bodies, which includes abortion. So people are voting yes or no. Do we want to keep the Constitution as it is, or do we want to vote against it and change the wording? And this is giving the power to the people. And so and a lot of eyes obviously are on all of these races, but these are 2 that I thought you would find some interest in regarding abortion, which is serious, obviously, and then the 3 Erics in Missouri.
That's the funniest thing I've ever heard.
It's bananas. It is absolutely bananas. And so watch and see what happens. I'm going to be watching all of this tonight. And of course, because I have no life, but I am going to be just glued to the television as to what's going on. And And that's so primary going on today. And the next ones that I'm looking forward to are in 2 weeks. That will be the Wyoming primary, and that will be Liz Cheney, who obviously is the woman who's led the fight along with the gentleman from Mississippi in the January 6th committee. So it'll be
committing political suicide there.
Yeah, she really has. And so it'll be interesting to see what happens there. All right, you guys. So that is what's going on in our newsletter. Please go to SybilWilkes.com to subscribe. We'd love to have you. And it is always an interesting time with the stories that we gather and put together. And hopefully I'll talk about a story a little bit later that Coy had in the newsletter. All right. So now the question is, what's really going on? Here is our question of the day, a little lighthearted. And I think you can appreciate this, Damon, from your perch at Martha's Vineyard. This is National Coloring Book Day, and it recognizes the joy that children and adults alike derive from coloring in the coloring books and designs and what have you. And it's become a really big industry for adults of late. I would say like the past 5 years or so, coloring books for adults have become a really big deal and a nice marketing way of making some money. So my question to you all is, what is the childhood activity or game you'd like to bring back and resume as an adult? I'm not saying you get down on the living room floor with your colored pens and your 64 box of Crayolas, but
aren't we fancy with the 64? Okay. You're one of those, huh?
With a little sharpener in the back. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. Don't hate, David. Don't hate.
I had the 8 box: black, white, brown, blue, yellow, green,
red, and
red.
Yeah. And the brown didn't get used as much, even as brown people. It was
Exactly.
The brown was always left alone. So what is that? So for the folks that are watching and those that are listening today, what is that childhood activity? Jack's Rocks. Is that Janet Ferguson on Facebook? Is that Jack's? I guess. Okay. Hopscotch. Yes, Shirley and Tony Davis on Facebook. Hopscotch. Sky Blue Queen here. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yeah, Renita Bland. Painting parties are great, especially with wine. Yes, that is your adult activity right there. And Z Walker on Facebook says the Etch-a-Sketch. So you guys are coming with them fast and furious. Have you considered this, Khameron? It's like, wouldn't this be a great day? Not for miniature golf, because that's your wheelhouse. But is there an activity, you ride your bike, and you and Damon are both good for that. Are there other activities, or is it riding your bike that you as an adult that you had a lot of fun with as a child?
I would like to see like Twister make a comeback. Nowadays, a lot
Twister
of
does
it.
No, but it does go well with shots. I'm just saying.
Or naked Twister.
That was going to be my next suggestion. When the folks are away, Khameron.
Right, that was shots.
Okay.
Pull out the old mat.
And that upper or lower body strength doesn't mean a damn thing if it's just two consenting adults playing naked Twister.
Right. If I happen to fall on you, I fell on you.
Okay. Right leg where? Okay. Damon, what about you? Yeah, and I thought about you when I was working on this question, Damon, because you had a great video the other day of you and your son riding, and it looked like you guys were riding on the lakefront. But it was a beautiful Chicago day, stopping to have a really looked like a delicious snack, and just the two of you hanging out with the music in the background, just the two of us, and so that was great.
That's something I've already brought back, the whole bike ride thing. But I would like to bring back Catch a Girl, Kiss a Girl.
I was waiting for that.
Vico has a hilarious joke about playing Catch a Girl, Kiss a Girl. It's like whenever it was a cute guy, the girls would fall and stumble. But if he was ugly, they became track stars. But light skinned James come like, oh. Yeah, let's bring back catch a girl, kiss a girl.
Or as Tom used to call it, run and go get it.
That's a whole nother. That's Alabama right there.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Sound like you catch that girl and do more than kiss her.
Okay. Well, I'm not sure how far he got, but yeah, if you were Lionel Richie, then you may have been able to.
And Tom wasn't much of a runner back then.
Right, exactly.
He'll tell you he was a little husky.
Yeah, a swimmer, but not a runner. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, he floated very well. I was thinking about some of the. We used to play Foursquare. In the schoolyard across the street, and we would make it in with the chalk on the ground and stuff like that. But
we made our own games with the chalk. We used to play strikeout when you put a box on the wall, and then you play. It's you and it was crazy because when you play strikeout, it's only two people. So if you hit the ball, it's going way out there, and now somebody got to go get it.
Right, exactly right.
With rubber balls, we used to use rubber balls.
Unless they catch it, and then you were switching positions, and we played softball. We had Piggy 1.
Piggy,
yeah, man, yeah.
Oh yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Piggy was the bomb. And if you couldn't get enough people to play a whole game of baseball, we just played Piggy.
Right. Yep.
I wonder if that's a national thing and a national name term. Viewers, chime in if you know what Piggy is with a softball.
Yeah, with a 16-inch softball.
The big fat one, yes.
Yeah, right. Or it could have been the person too. But yeah, it was Piggy.
Well, it wasn't as many fat people back in the day. You had one fat friend growing up. Now everybody's big. You had one fat friend and one neighborhood sissy. That was it.
And Damon, that's a whole nother day.
One fat friend, one sissy.
and you know what? Somebody is likely to report you if they do it to Lizzo and Beyonce for the use of words. Just imagine what they'll do for you guys.
Yeah, well, then in that case, I'm mad. I'm already prepared for all the mad fat sissies. Bring it on. Okay. Absolutely. So, Yolanda, if we have more people, I'd love to hear what they have to say in terms of their games. Dodgeball. Dodgeball,
Lynn Powell on Facebook says dodgeball. That was one that could really slow a fat kid down. Now, watching dodgeball, and did you ever see that movie, Dodgeball?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh my God, that was a classic. And that was a good one. Absolutely. Brenda Ray Girl Brooks. I guess that's Pittsburgh. Yeah. Indian ball.
Is that when you bring a cultural dish to a bunch of blind people
and dance?
Sit around in a circle.
Yeah.
I think Indian ball is I'm thinking about kickball, but I think you play baseball sort of with a big spongy ball was Indian ball, but I don't know. Let her explain.
Oh, please do. Dora Levette Tiggs on Facebook says jacks and paddleball. Now, is paddleball for you? Is that the bat and ball?
Bat and ball is what we called it.
Yeah, that's what we called it. Yeah.
And,
did you have bat and ball, Khameron?
I give you all's generation a lot of heat because you all deserve it. But one thing that I do credit you all's generation for is that you all did know how to make your own fun. My people in my age bracket, they don't.
Did you guys even go outside and play?
I mean, some of us did, and those people got incarcerated.
Okay.
Others didn't. So
they got incarcerated. Those of us that played outside got incarcerated.
Yeah, that's why they stayed in the house because they want to get locked up.
Okay.
But nowadays, if people in my age bracket want to go out and have fun, it has to be a whole curated experience. Every activity needs to be available. No one can just sit around and say, okay, what are we doing? And then, just freestyle it from there. So I really credit you all, man. You all really know how to just make your own fun.
We did. We had to. We had no technology. So we played cops and robbers.
Yeah.
That was everybody wanted to be the robber. I don't know. Nobody really wanted to be the cops back then.
and those were the ones that played outside. Yeah.
Exactly. And now they are the robbers. But yeah, and we had toy guns, and everybody played pew pew pew. It was it was a different era. You all could sit there and have the games on the technology where you could play and Grand Theft Auto and shoot guns and all that. We had to imagine. We had sticks and as rifles and
right.
And then Bruce Lee came out with nunchucks, so all the brooms went missing. And
your mamas are like, "What the hell are you doing?"
We cut the brooms in half and made our own karate sticks.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. Mother May I and Captain May I, Alicia Lawton on Facebook says, "Kick the can." See, that's Karen. That's a great example.
That's imagination.
That's really, you just find a can on the corner, on the street, in the alley, and you kick the can and you kind of alternate or, see who kicks furthest. And it was a good one alone game. Because as an only child, sometimes that's all you had was just yourself, and you just kick the can.
And sometimes they would take the can, you step on it, and it would latch onto the bottom of your shoe and make a high heel. You scrape it like this. But that was usually the sissy.
I was going to say, Damon, that's where my head went too. Yes. That was the initial turn that people made with that. Yes. That's my car. Nike Tim says on YouTube.
Yeah, for sure.
That's my car. And then that was for the the family trips.
Yeah, or slug bug.
No, I'm not sure what slug bug.
That's like that's my car, but if you see a Beetle, a Volkswagen, then you get to punch somebody.
Yeah. That one, I forgot about that one. Yeah. My cousin Keith used to like to play that with me a lot, and I did not like it. Yeah.
No.
Gotta be quicker.
Yeah, he
the beautiful thing though, there weren't a lot of Beetles around back then, so it was a rare spotting. Yeah.
Right. So that's my car was a good one for the road trips as well as just sitting on the porch, and watching. Sometimes you go outside and play. That's my car. Or my daddy used to say, "The Dan Ryan is open. Go, kids, go."
Yes.
He wants us to go play in traffic.
Go play in traffic, right.
Odessa Pope Wells on Facebook says, "Wiggles. It's like swings, but you stand and run around the bar and wiggle, and you go up high and fast." Oh, so you go, like you're swinging and you twist, I guess, a little bit. Yeah.
Shouts out to Odessa. That's one of my good supporters.
Oh, nice. Is she coming to the Vineyard?
No, she's in Kentucky, Lexington area, and she's been lobbying. She might have written a letter to Congress to get me to Lexington.
Well, Odessa, we love that, and we love the support you give to Damon. So we're right with you. If we need to write some letters with our crayons in our coloring books for you, just let us know, and we will do it. So as we wrap this up, if people have some last minute suggestions, this is National Coloring Book Day, and it is the activity that can go from childhood all the way to adulthood these days. And so we're asking you, what are some of those childhood activities that you participated in? Charles Hilliard on Facebook said, Charles Hilliard said, "I loved tongue kissing with girls when I was a teenager, and I enjoyed playing mama and daddy. And I was always the daddy, and we made the children." You made the children.
Yeah, well, don't play that today, Charles. You'll get monkeypox. Can't be out here randomly kissing folk. Talking about I'm daddy.
Okay. Yeah, you can't do that without a mask for sure, player. Right. And that doesn't work well with the kissing part, I'm afraid. Yeah,
but that confirmed. All right. Yeah.
Playing house and mama and daddy. Okay. Yeah. So any last minute suggestions you guys would like? Any things that you would like to play that we haven't talked about?
I think you covered mine.
Okay, Simon says, Odessa Pope Wells says on Facebook. Simon
1, 2, 3, red light.
Oh, red light, green light. Yeah, absolutely. I think we have some good ones here, guys. I don't think that we're gonna run out of things. We kicked rocks around the railroad tracks.
Oh, Renita.
So Renita Bland on Facebook says, "I don't know how you do that." So you kick them around the railroad tracks and avoid the
Just
third rail.
they have all the rocks on the track, and you just go up there
Right.
kicking the rocks. Yeah, and you'll find out who did it wrong when they come back with a limp.
Yeah. Punch boogie, no punch back. Punch boogie.
Punch buggy. That's like slug bug. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
But then you can say no punch back. That means they can't hit you. Yeah. Right. That's like cobs, no cobs.
Right. Bid whist. Okay.
Yeah,
All right.
Yeah.
So,
that's a mature child.
Yeah.
So my aunt and uncle taught me how to play tunk when I was about like 5 or 6, and I was staying with them one day, and my mom came to pick me up, and I said, "Guess what I learned to play today?" And she's like, "What?" And so I held up a pocket full of money, and and it was tunk, and those were my tunk winnings. Yes.
Well, they taught you too well if you beat them.
I know. That's what Aunt Bess and Uncle Will said too. Yeah, absolutely. All right, so that's our question of the day. Thanks for participating, and thanks for joining us on our trip down memory lane. It's now time to talk trending topics, and as we have mentioned, Damon is in Martha's Vineyard. And Damon, once again, tell people what's going on, the comedy festival, how this works, and is it too late for people to get there?
It's not too late to get here. The lodging is tricky if you haven't booked it in advance, but it's go to marthasvineyardcomedyfest.com. But if you cannot come to Martha's Vineyard, breaking news, just confirmed. August 19th and 20th, Myra J., J. Anthony Brown, George Wallace, all at Riddles.
Yes.
Riddles Comedy Club. Yes.
Yep.
Now, the Tom Joyner gang is coming together at Riddles. So that just went on sale right to now. I just posted it.
Oh, that is so awesome. We are getting it. Breaking news, as you said.
And we're going home on the 20th, so I'll be there on the 20th as well. Can't wait to see him. Can't wait to laugh and just enjoy those veteran legends all together, hanging out. They're old friends. They're going to tell stories. It's going to be an amazing, epic situation. And Riddles only hold 200 seats, so I would get those tickets right now, today. DamonWilliamsComedy.com. Right now.
Oh, Damon, that's going to be fun.
Amazing.
What a great birthday gift that would be for me. Huh.
Well,
okay.
You want a flight?
See, man out there, take notes. That's what every man should say.
I got you. If you want to come, Sybil, I will fly you to Chicago.
I will let you know. I will absolutely. Right. That is a way to celebrate. Absolutely. Indeed. On that Saturday, the 20th. Okay.
Yep.
Damon, one thing we did not talk about, and I promised that we did, and we got past it last week. Do tell us about the salute to Tom Joyner that took place in Chicago.
Oh, magnificent. There's a promoter with Urban Vibe Entertainment. His name is Rick Johnson. He's a Chicago guy. And if you see me on major shows like with the Tyrese Tour and all those cats going around, those are his productions. Mm-hmm. Well, it was his idea to do. He said when they did the farewell tour, he tried to get it when Tom was out with Kim and Babyface, I believe it was, but it didn't come through Chicago and it didn't do it properly. So he wanted to make sure Tom got his flowers. He grew up listening to Tom as we all did. So Tom, he asked me to reach out to Tom. He wanted to do it in November, the Thanksgiving weekend. Mm-hmm. And Tom said, November in Chicago?
He's so spoiled. He's so spoiled by Miami.
He said, you can't do it in July. And he said, and that's what happened. So he moved the date. The Isley brothers were, of course, legendary guys doing their thing, but the OJs are on their farewell tour. And so it all came together nicely. The two of those acts, we gave Tom a check for the foundation. He got a chance to speak to the people, and he sat up there. He and I sat on the side of the stage, as you know he likes to do. And there was this tribute video which you contributed to. The video was actually like 21 minutes.
Wow! And
people sat through that entire video, and I'm talking about older people holding their bladders because it was so intriguing. Because it was a retrospective of Tom's career, and Doug Banks was in it, and so you know how we miss Doug. And so it was just a magical night in Chicago. And of course, both acts did their thing. Eddie Levert, of course, is under the weather with COVID right now, so he wasn't on the date. But there's a young guy that's singing, and he sounds more really like Tom pointed out, like Gerald. But he's hitting all the Eddie notes. But you could tell he's a temporary OJ because he don't have the suits or the choreography. He's shooping over in the corner.
Okay. And Eric probably put him further over in the corner. He's like, yeah dude, that's me.
Exactly. And Eric got a solo. If y'all don't know, Eric Nolan Grant is the middle OJ. And I always teased him. I said they keep getting new middle dudes because the middle guy has to do all the steps and they wear him out. But Eric got a couple of solos, a couple of leads on the tour. So if you hear about the OJs coming to town, it's a magical show. All the great songs, go see it. But Tom got a chance to get his flowers, and of course he basked in the glow of it. And you know we love him in Chicago. So shouts out to the Fly Jock, and thank you for giving me a chance to talk about that.
Absolutely. I'm sorry we didn't get a chance last week, and I find it really interesting when you made the mention to me earlier about not wanting to do it in November, because remember, Tom used to always brag about when he would do those after work sets and how his biggest crowds, his largest attendance was on the coldest and snowiest days in Chicago.
Yep. And that's true to this day. Yeah, but he made us take the risk and bite the bullet. But it worked. Both shows were super well attended. I'm sure the second show, the Friday show, I believe, was sold out. Thursday was really close, if not sold out. So people came out because, you know, music in the summer in Chicago is still going to work. Comedy, however, has been catching hell all summer. So that's why I have George Wallace, J. Anthony Brown, and Myra J. August 19th and 20th.
Where's this going to be?
At Riddles, Chicagoland's home of the grown and funny.
And how can people get their tickets?
Go to DamonWilliamsComedy.com. The first thing you see, it'll say get Riddles tickets here. It'll take you right to the tickets. You can pay at the door if you wait, but I wouldn't, because those tickets are on sale now.
Yep. And it's so great to
I can't overlook the fact that this weekend I have Pierre from How to Be a Player and Baps.
Really?
He's there this weekend, with Marlon Mitchell and M. Brown, who's celebrating a birthday. So, you know, if you want to go today, this weekend, go, and then save your money and go on the 19th and 20th.
That's right. That's going to be a great time. A really great time. You have a birthday coming up in your house too, don't you?
Yes, but it'll take place in this luxurious accommodation. my wife's birthday is August 8th. You know, she's not even here yet. Right. Because we just came off the cruise. She's like, I'm not doing the whole suitcase thing again and unpacking it back and forth. So she'll be here. She arrives on Sunday. Actually, I'm going to get her because I'm going to. I'm all over the place, but I'm going to get her Sunday. She'll be here the rest of the stay. And yes, happy birthday in advance to Juanita, my wife. Her birthday is August 8th. Nice.
Absolutely wonderful. All right, Khameron, tell us about you. You told us about the one situation, but there's still something else that we're awaiting the 14th of August.
Yeah, 13th and the 14th, Definition Theater in Chicago. It's the Amplify Festival, of which I am a finalist. And you can find those tickets at Definition Theater /AS2, or just follow me on Instagram. Click the link in my bio. And tickets are pay what you can. The theme for this festival is Seasons of Love. Apparently I wrote a romance, and apparently it's pretty good. So
well, I'm glad that your writing, you know, coalesced with the theme of this particular.
I know, right? Tell me how that works, right?
Yeah. You take your chances, you know.
And what's the name of the play that you presented?
Yes, the play that I submitted is called Black Table Talk. It's about three friends, Tyranny, Kennedy, and Rain, as they reconnect at a familiar place, this old breakfast joint they used to go to during an unfamiliar time. It's about the peaceful transition of relationships, and it asks us to decide what's worth letting go, how do we hold on, and how do we hold folks accountable.
Nice.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Unlike the Red Table Talk where they just get in your business.
Yeah, they just did and it was yeah.
I like your concept better. I don't want to hear about the variations of feminine toys and the rocket and the rabbit and the rocket launcher. I don't need all that. I want to come see the Black Table Talk.
Okay. And I don't see Khameron as a rabbit launcher type. I just or at least talking about it. So that's cool. Nope. Nope, absolutely not. All right, let's talk about what's going on today in the news. Nancy Pelosi put on her big girl pants and she said, "You don't want me to go to Taiwan, Mr. China? Guess what? I'm going anyway. And the White House is like, well, we can't really tell her what to do. It's Nancy, and she can do what she wants to do. And so Nancy Pelosi made her sojourn to Taiwan, and making a number of other stops like Malaysia and what have you. But she arrived late Tuesday in Taiwan on a trip she said shows an unwavering American commitment to the Chinese claimed self-ruled island. There's been a lot of discussion about China trying to take over Taiwan again, much the same way they did with Hong Kong. And so a lot of conversation going back and forth between US and China and what this means, because they're comparing what China is talking about doing with Taiwan to what Russia has done with Ukraine. And in order to avoid that, the U.S. is saying we're on it, and we're not going to allow this to happen the same way that it has happened in Ukraine. And Nancy said, okay, let me go over and check it out. And so
it's funny you said she put on her big girl pants. I hope she put on her the pants too, because that's a long flight. When you said they making stops along the way, I know damn well they are.
Pull over!
Pull this thing over! I'm not doing what I have to do in that little bitty bathroom. Stop in Malaysia.
Hilarious.
I am Nancy Pelosi. You land this plane now. I am the first lady speaker of the House, and damn it, if I gotta go, you gotta stop.
Yeah.
Not the Kente.
Okay. Not the Kente.
In the name of John Lewis, land this plane.
Okay. Talking about some good trouble. Yeah, come on, try it. Yeah. So this got a furious response from China when international tensions are already elevated, obviously, as we said, by Russia's invasion of Ukraine. And this is the first time this century that as high-ranking an American official has gone to Taiwan. The last House Speaker of the House was Newt Gingrich, and that was back in the 90s and during the Clinton years, if I'm not mistaken. So she's letting them know, we ain't scared, and we want the people of Taiwan to know we got you. And
Newt Gingrich was probably high. He probably thought he was going to Thailand. Taiwan?
Time, Newt.
Did I say Taiwan? Enough of these pills.
And I want to go to one of those fancy nighttime shows that you are so famous for.
Indeed.
Yeah. And get a
so there's no lady boys in Taiwan? Who booked this?
You did, Mr. Speaker.
Well, I spoke out of turn.
Something you will never hear from Newt. I want to get your opinion on the NFL's decision to suspend the Miami Dolphins owner for violating league rules when he talked to Tom Brady and to Sean Payton, as well as trying to convince his former head coach to take a dive, to take some losses so they could get those higher draft picks. You remember this, what happened? Stephen Ross has now been suspended for 6 weeks. That's nothing. After they found that his club tampered with league rules in their attempts to bring Tom Brady and the former New Orleans Saints head coach Sean Payton to the team. In addition to a suspension, the league said he's been fined $1.5 million. That too is walking around money for him. After the investigation found that Dolphins representatives had impermissible communications with Brady. And this is also, if you guys remember, this is also had to do with Brian Flores, who was the former head coach, and accused them of racism, and he is now the defensive assistant at the Pittsburgh Steelers. He says he's thankful the investigation found his allegations against Ross were true. However, he said he is disappointed with the penalties, and he says they minimized his offenses, such as $100,000 for each game that he threw or made his team lose, so that they could improve their chances in the lottery.
Man, dude, being a Dolphins player must suck, man. Did you hear the word from coach? He said we got to lose again. Yeah.
Right. That's exactly what we're talking about there, Cam.
And I don't even know how you get professional athletes to tank a game for the sake of the draft pick next year. Not to mention that's almost as bad as betting on games and throwing the game. I mean, he should have been banned, to be honest.
Yeah, absolutely. And trying to tamper with other people's players and to try to convince your head coach to throw them, to toss the games because you want to get a higher draft pick. They're just and it's so much against good athletics and gamesmanship. And for them to $1.5 million, like I said, that's nothing. That's absolutely nothing for him.
It's evidence that NFL is just an old boys club.
Well, look at the Deshaun Watson case. Whether they seek to for a higher penalty against him, he's been benched for 6 games.
And that's he has egregious accusations, but at least it's not football related. I mean, who amongst us don't want a happy ending? But
okay.
I mean, come on.
It had nothing to do with the game, but for him to be tampering with the outcome of games when people pay their hard-earned money to come see their favorite athletes play, when there's now organized gambling on sports with the fan duels and such, that's a slippery slope. And I think he should have been banned from the league and from participating in professional sports because the integrity of the sport is at question when you start doing stuff like that.
Right. Absolutely. I agree with you. Let's take a look at entertainment as we wrap up our hour here. And this is when a relationship gone wrong and social media mix. And sometimes you don't want to hear all of this, but sometimes, a woman's just got to speak her mind. And so Neo's wife, Crystal Smith, has slammed her husband in the post. To say I'm heartbroken is an understatement. Neo's wife, Crystal Smith, has accused him of being unfaithful for 8 years and then wishing him nothing but the best. They've been married for 6 years, according to reports, 8 years of lies and deception, 8 years of unknowingly sharing my life and husband with numerous women who sell their bodies to him unprotected. Every last one of them, she wrote. She went on to say she's not a victim, asked that people stop sending her videos and other information concerning her husband's cheating ways, his alleged infidelities. And she says it's no longer her concern. And Neo liked the post and then responded saying he and his family will work through these challenges privately.
Huh. A little late for that, Neo.
Out in the public square. Yeah.
On a post that got 7 million views. We're gonna work this out privately amongst ourselves.
But before I leave, let me like it, and then then we'll talk. Dude,
I mean, it's unfortunate to see the demise of anybody's relationship. But Neo, for him to be singing all those love songs and especially the good man, that's what she should have had. She should have had a clue right there. He said, "I just want to be a good man."
He didn't say that he was.
He didn't say I'm a great man. I just want to be a good man. Good man. That's like saying I want to hit the Mega Million. Did it happen? No. And people stopped calling me. So many people called. Was it you? They said Illinois. Come on now. First of all, I answered the phone, so obviously it's not me.
And Damon, I didn't know this about the Illinois lottery. If you win more than $250,000, you don't have to identify yourself.
I didn't know that either.
Yeah. Wow. If you win in Illinois, you don't have to identify yourself if you win $250,000 or more. So you don't have to worry about that's awesome.
Yeah, that's helpful because we can't. How am I going 79th Street after I won the lottery? Right.
How am I going to stand up on Riddles and say, I am so poor that?
How can I run down to the Jewel food store?
to the Jewels.
The Jewels on 95th. I can barely go down. A guy told me, I was on the west side one time, and he said, "Hey man, you ain't too anonymous where you can't get put in the trunk. What you doing over here in K-Town?
You ain't too anonymous."
He said, "You ain't too anonymous where you can't get trucked around here. You better be careful, homie."
Oh God, the things our people say on the streets, Lord have mercy. Oh
Yeah.
my gosh, my goodness. Well, guys, thank you so much. I'm going to close out with Yogi's Jewels, our daily inspiration. And that today is showing grace is needed most in the midst of turmoil. Showing grace is needed in the midst of turmoil. So I know there will be no turmoil on the lovely island of Martha's Vineyard, but we do wish you a great week there, Damon, and talk to you next week. And Khameron, good luck to you in all of your endeavors, because you got a lot of stuff going with the stepfather and all of that. But good luck to you, and hopefully everybody else will stay cool in some parts of the country and stay dry in others. Thanks for
and you too.
watching.
And you make up your mind about that flight, because after 14 days, the price go up.
Okay.
Let me know. All right.
I will. Thank you, darling. Thanks, everybody.